All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakah HaKadosh, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. All right, first off, I want to say Shalom to the ones that pushed this word out in truth and sincerity, which are the apostles and elders on down to the brothers. And Shalom to the ones that endured his faith until the very end, until the time of Jacob's troubles, which are again the apostles and elders on down to the brothers and a few sisters. All right, so Shalom. So, I wanted to, do this lesson pretty much on something I mentioned at camp as well. I've been researching this for about a week now, right? Again, one thing that us at GMS do, man, we research things. And if anybody else starts researching stuff, anybody else that's the other camps and stuff, that's because they get it from us, right? When we say we have the 100% truth, we have the 100% truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Right? And what y'all don't get is that, again, we research things. We look into these articles, the resources, the documentaries, right? I had to dig into a lot of research, documentaries, articles, all that. Shit is probably even most likely, on Google. Right? Now, I've been looking into something that they call colonizing. Right? Now, when you go into the word colonizing, I have it right here. Pretty much to send a group of settlers to establish political control over it. Right? So what they did is that, for colonizing Africa, pretty much, they sent settlers to colonize Africa. Right? And this was around, if I remember, like the late 19th century, which is the 1800s, specifically 1880 to 1914, right? And they referred it as the scramble for Africa, if anything, because China was actually involved in this, just like how China colonized America in some ways, but America colonized China, right? As you see, different places around the world for a reason that it looks similar to the U.S. as well, right? Russia, China, all these third world countries, they still have similarities to Babylon the Great, which is America, right? That deadly wound that's healed, as Revelation goes into. So when they colonized America in like the 1800s, when they colonized Africa, Salakia, that's pretty much them putting their doctrines, everything else, their influences into Africa, right? China did the same thing for America, just like how most products here, it says made from China. That's when they have the trade routes, the import-exports. But when they colonized Africa, that was them taking over Africa in some ways. And Europe actually did it, right? It was mostly Europe. And what they was doing here, and the main point of this research is what they was doing is when they colonized Africa, they started saying that the Europeans took over the educational system, and they started saying that y'all were actually us, right? Y'all were the real Europeans. They was telling the Africans that y'all were the real Europeans, right? Y'all were here first. But with the school systems and stuff, and the modern day education system and everything on Google, they're trying to say that that they were lying to them. They were trying to say that the Europeans were lying to the Africans, saying that they was actually Europeans before, Esau was in Europe, which was actually true, because most of Africa that was being colonized mostly was West Africa, West and Nigeria. Those places are the main ones. That is where the Israelites were. And them Europeans, man, them Edomites, man, they knew that the West Africans, most of them were Israelites. You know, you can tell the difference between a heathen and an Israelite. Those people in Africa, you know, West Africa, those were the Israelites, and they knew that we were the ones that were ruling Europe. That's why we got the book. In fact, it's actually upstairs, right? The elder goes into it. You know, the Black Kings of Europe. And one thing you started noticing is that you know, they started through time putting white blotches on everybody, and then slowly and slowly and slowly turning them into white figures, right? To show, you know, the same thing they did with Santa Claus with Saint Nicholas, who was a so-called black man. And what do? They whitewashed them and turned them into a fat white man as mockery. And that's where everybody gets Santa Claus from. So this is Habakkuk 2:5. It says, "Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." Right? So that all breaks itself down. He transgresseth by wine, which is philosophy. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He cannot keep at home whatsoever, which is why he's colonizing Africa as it is. And he already done it. He goes everywhere around the globe except for where he's supposed to be, which is the caves of Petra. Right? Or even the society itself. He'll literally go everywhere around the world just to conquer it. Right? What did America do with the Caribbeans? Right? They was annexing them, which is taking over as well. That's another form of colonizing. They did the same thing with all these different states and other countries out there. That's why the NATO formed, right? And that's the main point of this video. I want to go into Revelation 13, which also goes into, you know, the NATO and the EU, because that's the main ones that actually colonized Africa as well, right? And what does it say right here? Heapeth unto him all people. That's what this man is doing right now. So pretty much when they colonized Africa, they took over certain parts, but it was mostly involved with NATO and EU, right? Now, West Africa was controlled by France, which is why, you know, the West Africans mostly now they speak French, right? Britain, they took over the Congo, right? They dominated the South. Actually, they took over the South, and Belgium, right? I even have it right here. Belgium, they controlled Ethiopia, Liberia, and yeah, that's about it, right? So Britain controlled Egypt, Sudan, South Africa, Nigeria, Gold Coast, and Sierra Leone. France took over Algeria, Morocco, and large parts of West Africa, right? That's why, you know, again, West Africans, they speak mostly French. That was them colonizing that side of Africa. Belgium took over Congo, and Portugal took over Angola and Mozambique. Right? Now that shows, man, the main colonizing powers, you know, was Britain, France, Belgium, Portugal, Germany, Italy, and Spain. Now let's read this real quick and see where this gets us. This is Revelation 13:1. It says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy." Right? So when you go into yeah, I even got my notes. When you got the 7 heads, the 7 heads were French, Romans, Britain, Germany, Spain, Germana Major, and Germana Minor. That shows it right there. Right? The 10 horns. Belgium, France, Greece, Germany, Spain, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, UK, which is Britain as well, and Portugal. Self-explanatory. Man, these people show, the scriptures, man, it shows. And when we research things, man, it shows also. They know exactly who we are. Right? They know who we are, and we know who they are. Right? Because, again, we're back. It's all reincarnation. And that vision that he had, right, on the island of Patmos, that shows, man, that was, the League of Nations. That's all that is. But when somebody pick up the Bible and they just read it, they're going to automatically think, oh, it's a creature with 7 heads and 10 horns. Oh, it sounds like fairy tales. I'm not going to believe in this book no more. They don't understand, man. This is a history book. It says it right there. Right? Now, let's go over this again. The ones who colonized Africa: Britain, France, Belgium, Portugal, Germany, Italy, and Spain. That explains a lot. Which is also why, again, when the Europeans were teaching in their education system, they was teaching the Africans, the West Africans specifically, that they were rulers of Europe before the Edomites. Now, everybody today would say, they was lying to the Africans. But now what they're trying to do is they trying to say that the Europeans never said it at all. That shows, man, again, they're trying to cover things up because they want everything completely whitewashed. Because they know that so-called black people ruled Europe. They know that so-called black people were the ones in the Roman Empire. They trying to keep everything, kept together. Right? Who's in the NATO? Right here, Belgium, Bulgaria. It's a lot of names: Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Latvia, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Poland. Right? It says the exact same thing. Right? The 7 heads and 10 horns. And then you got the daily womb, which is America, which is Babylon the Great. Right? You even had the ancient 10 horns, right? As in the notes of Revelation 12, which were the Franks. The Franks, Alimony, Suevi, Harley, Lombards, right? The Burgundians, the Vandals, the Anglo-Saxons, the Visigoths, the Gepidae, and Hurl is right there. Because what is this empire right now? What is this society? It's all and every single empire that has ever existed into one. Mostly the Babylonian and the Roman. Right? That's why you see, you go out, most of these buildings are what? They're all Roman. It's all Petra, Rome, and Babylon. And that's why we call this place the amalgamation. Because that's what it is. This place is an abomination and is full of every hateful and unclean bird, right? Because this place has took on every single demon and spirit that the previous empires have took on or practiced. That's why everybody in this place is nothing but confusion. That's why Babylon is confusion. Because everybody takes on every single doctrine and every god that there is. That's why everyone believes in everything. You could go around and ask people what they believe in. They're going to believe in all kinds of crazy shit. The Greek mythology, the Norse mythology, Baal, Dagon, Anubis, sun god Ra. That's why everybody believes in everything. And that's why everyone follows unto all these different spirits, especially the Queen of Heaven. Man, that's why we say Shalak Rayam unto this society, which is sin, evil, and destruction. Because no more of this madness. Right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, man, this place will be taken down. This society itself is a cancer unto the entire earth. And that's why when this society falls, them other countries, man, they gonna fall with it because they feed off of this place, right? And they feed off of our sorrow and destruction. And the main ones who sold us into the slave trade were them Arabs, right? You heathens, man, y'all got to get it too, right? Y'all going into complete servitude. And y'all all took part and built, right, on our suffering. So by the Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadash, and Shalom.